In the quest to tackle hair loss, one of the latest products on the market is hair fibres. You've probably seen these in viral videos before, across various social media websites. By the end of this video, you'll know more about them and whether I think they're worth buying or not. This video is made possible by our video sponsor, Christopher Clues. Their eyewear collection combines Danish design with high-quality materials to give you sunglasses that last incredibly well and look great. Their sunglasses feature reinforced hinges and premium acetate construction so they feel high quality and don't wear out. Each pair also comes fitted with polarized CR39 lenses, which reduce reflections, limit eye strain, and improve visual clarity. I've been trying these out recently and I've noticed a definite improvement over my existing sunglasses. Christopher Clues stock a variety of classic designs including aviators and wayfarers, which will remain in style for the lifetime of the glasses. The sizing is also refreshing. As these are unisex, I find that they're much more realistically proportioned than most brands. They don't stick out from the width of your face. For most guys like me, this just looks better. They also come in a stylish leather storage case, which could make for a nice gift. These glasses aren't cheap, but you get what you pay for. You can get a 20% discount using the code BA20 at checkout. There's a link in the description, so if you're after a pair of sunglasses for this summer, I can't recommend them enough. Okay, here's how hair fibres work. Hair fibre is essentially coloured powder, normally made out of keratin or something similar. This can then be sprinkled or sprayed directly into dry hair, and the fibre clings to your existing hair strands. This causes the thinner areas of hair to look thicker, and it conceals those areas of hair loss. These types of products aren't designed to bring hair back as such, more to just disguise the hair loss. A quick side note, this is different from hair styling powder, which I covered in a video previously. You can view that one in the iCard. That stuff is designed to help you get a certain hairstyle and to get your hair to stand up in place. Whereas this is strictly for hair loss. These fibre products are designed for both men and women and typically come in a variety of different colours, so you can choose one that closely matches your hair colour. In this video, I'll be trying 2 different brands in slightly different colours to see if I can answer some of the general questions that I get about hair fibres, which includes: does hair fibre work and look natural? Does hair fibre rub out or fall out? Does hair fibre wash out? Does the product cause hair loss? What are the general pros and cons of using this stuff? And overall, when would I use it, if ever? For some context, this is my hair in its current state. Whilst my hair loss is nothing extreme, it's quite noticeable if you know what you're looking for. You can see I've got some recession on the front, and then I've got some thinning on the crown too. Maybe some of these products will help it to look better. I've chosen 2 highly rated powders on Amazon. The first is from a brand called Hair Genetics, and this one is in a medium brown colour, whilst the second is from the market leader's Topic. This one is in a light brown colour. I chose 2 slightly different colours because I think my hair kind of falls between both, and wanted to see if the tone of the product made any significant difference to the way it looked. And to be clear, this video isn't sponsored by either of those brands, but if you want to try them, I'll link them both in the description. So, first question, does hair fibre work and does it look natural? While it is a bit tricky to apply, which I'll talk about in a second, I'd say it does work to an extent. If you've got thin hair, it'll probably make your hair look thicker from a normal distance. If you're looking for a product that will bring back a heavily receded hairline where the hair is completely gone, this isn't it. The product needs at least some hair to hold on to. So for my hair, it's tended to work best in areas where I've just had a little bit of thinning rather than full recession. One example is this bit in the center where I've got low density. You can see here a couple of before and after shots. I'd say that using the powder does help to block some of the visibility of the scalp, which is what this product is designed to do, so I think that's great. I think my hair does look better with the product in. Now, in terms of looking natural or not, I think if you were someone who knew what you were looking for and you were at a really close distance, you might be able to tell that someone is using this stuff. Overall, I found that these powders tended to work best and look the best when used more centrally on the head, because when used on the very fringes of the hairline, I found it doesn't tend to look quite as natural and it can sometimes look a little bit artificially smooth. Out of the 2 products, in my hair at least, I found that the Topic one worked slightly better, or at least it looked more natural, and I think most of that is down to the fact that this colour more closely matches my hair colour. In my hair, the Hair Genetics product was far too dark. It's advertised as medium brown, but I found it almost looked black. As a result, as you can see here, it made certain areas of my hair look quite weird. So I think getting that colour match is definitely important as to the function of this product. The next one is, does this hair powder rub out or fall out? If anything, I'd say hair fibre rubs in rather than rubs out. When you initially sprinkle it on, I find it tends to sit on the surface. You have to give it a quick rub to ensure that it's evenly spread. In terms of falling out, the product doesn't really fall out very easily. Now obviously in areas where you've got far less hair density, it's going to fall out more easily because it's got less to hold on to. And also, if you go mad and just massively over-rub the product, you're going to inevitably end up firing the product back out of your hair at some point. As with the aesthetic side of things, I found that it tends to stay in better towards the center of the head. These fibres don't tend to stick in quite as well towards the edges of the hairline, as they can more easily be rubbed off. Next, does hair fibre wash out? This is important in two situations. The first is rain. Obviously, you're not going to want these products to be falling down your face if there's some form of precipitation. Unfortunately, I've only had the opportunity to test this a couple of times in the rain. So I've also done some additional manual testing on this, and my general impressions are as follows. I think in light rain, it survives quite well. I'm unsure as to whether this has got any specific hydrophobic properties, but it seems to grip onto the hair okay in normal conditions. However, in heavy rain, I could see this product washing out, especially around the edges. But I haven't really had that opportunity yet to test it in such conditions. That being said, I have showered with the product, which we'll talk about in a second. Generally though, if the weather's that bad and it's really heavy rain, I'll be taking an umbrella with me anyway most places, so it's not really an issue. Let's talk about showering then. Will you need to keep reusing this product every time you go for a shower? After you've showered using a shampoo, I'd say definitely. In most cases, this will completely remove the product. So if you want to retain a better looking hairline, you'll probably need to apply it again. And when using just water, I've still found that quite a lot of the product comes out. It just depends on how much you're massaging your hair with your hands. So in that situation, you may just need to top up. Next is, does hair fibre cause hair loss? As with hair styling products, thankfully no. Under normal circumstances, if you're using this product correctly, there's no reason why it should cause hair loss. I recently did a video about a similar topic in the iCard above. I'd see that video for a full explanation. Okay, what are the overall pros and cons of this stuff? Let's go over the negatives at first, because there is a really big divide online with this product. Some people love it, some people hate it. I found firstly that these shake tubs tend to be quite messy when using. You've probably seen in some of the B-roll shots in this video, me sprinkling it and then it's going a bit over my forehead, then you have to manually neaten it up. Having experienced the shake tubs, I'd probably lean towards going with one of the sprays. That should be faster, more accurate, and easy to use. Also, you've got the fact that this isn't a permanent solution. As this stuff just disguises your hair loss and doesn't necessarily eradicate it, you have to keep applying it. It's not really a set and forget option. And obviously that can be somewhat time consuming depending on your level of thinning. This may not be an issue if you're someone that styles your hair regularly anyway, might just be an extra thing to chuck into your routine. And on a quick side note there, I found that when you're using a hair wax, this stuff stays in slightly better. But if you're someone that realistically doesn't see yourself using this every couple of days, then this might not be right for you. Also, I found that it doesn't really improve receding areas. If you've got quite heavy recession, maybe those people who've got more recession than myself, when you've got areas that are nothing but skin, I don't think this stuff is going to help. People are going to be able to see that it's not hair there, it's just blocks of powder, and it can easily be rubbed off, so it's not something I would recommend. And also, the cost of these products adds up over time. Whilst initially, it's quite cheap, especially if you go for some of the cheaper brands, as you do have to keep using this stuff, you will get through it. It's a bit like hair wax. Now, what do I like about this product? The first one is, I think the overall purpose of reducing scalp visibility in your thinning areas, it serves it quite well. At least on my hair, it makes my hair look a bit thicker, and it does make me feel slightly better about the condition of my hair. Also, you've got the fact that this type of product, it's not dangerous or invasive. Now, obviously, when it comes to hair loss, you've got different options that you can look at, some of which are different types of drugs which have got various side effects. I've looked at finasteride on my channel before, or you've got other options which involve surgery, which not everyone wants to do and not everyone can afford. And that's another thing too, the price of this stuff, at least initially, is low, meaning it's pretty cheap to pick some of this stuff up and try it and see if it works for you. Whereas something like a hair transplant, let's say, you're talking hundreds, if not thousands of pounds to get it done at first. You can't exactly have a test run of one of those. And the final pro is I think this stuff could be pretty useful in certain situations, which we'll talk about now. When is hair fibre best used, if ever? Well, I think this has got a couple of useful applications. The first is one that I face almost every single day, and that is if you're working under harsh lighting conditions, especially in front of camera. In a lot of cases, the camera picks up on more details than the eye does. And especially when you've got big lights, I've got one right here in front of me. This can make your hair look a lot thinner than it actually is, and people can see the scalp far more exposed than in person. So if you're someone that maybe works in TV or something like that, or knows that you work under harsh lighting, then it might be worth looking at. Similarly, if it's an important occasion, maybe it's at a wedding and you're going to have loads of photos taken of you. Maybe it's in some sort of business meeting and you're just looking to put forward the best impression possible. You want to look as good as possible. Something like this is quick, relatively easy, and for a single day, it can work. And also, I think this product has a place if you're somewhat conscious about your thinning hair, and you want something to make it look slightly better, but you don't want to shave your head completely. Maybe your hair's not quite at that stage where it's worth shaving your head. In that situation, this could work well. However, there's a few situations where I just don't think this is going to work realistically. The first is if you've got major hair loss. In my opinion, if you've only got a few wisps left over a mainly bald head, this isn't really going to save you. And it won't look natural enough because people are probably just going to see the powder. Remember, this fibre needs hair to grab onto to hold in place. If that's your situation, I think it's going to be better to just shave your head. Also, this isn't going to help if you're only concerned about your hairline. As I mentioned before, its effect on a receding hairline are very limited, and if you've got no hair left in those areas, it's probably not worth using. And also, if you're after a set and forget option, and if you don't want the hassle of having to apply this stuff constantly, then this isn't for you. Realistically, this requires some maintenance. Overall, if you're struggling to decide on what colour to go for, maybe your hair's between tones like mine, I'd recommend going for whichever is the slightly lighter option. I think this is generally going to give you a slightly more natural look, and it'll help to make sure that your hairline doesn't look too artificial. You'll find links to both powders in the description, as well as the link and discount code to our sponsor, Christopher Clues. Let me know your thoughts about fibres in the description. Do you like them? Do you not like them? To be fair to these powders, this might be something that I might use on videos, mainly because of that super harsh lighting. It might just help me when I'm filming stuff, because in person, my hair loss definitely doesn't look as bad as it does on camera. And I think using this fibre might bring it to a more normal looking level. Either way, that's my thoughts on hair fibre. I'll see you in the next one, boys.